Hello, my friend. So today's date is October the 6th, and this is a birthday reading for those people born on October the 6th. This is a four-card pull, a general energy card, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. So, what is the general energy card for those folks born on October the 6th? Well, it is the orphan. I think The Orphan is a really huge picture of what we all face as humans on this planet in this time where we're cut off, I think, from our nature, the nature of things. We're cut off from our nature of things. We're cut off from endless looking at TV screens and not talking personally to each other. We're cut off from feeling wanted. We're cut off from feeling loved. Cut off from feeling appreciated. The orphan ultimately is the sense of not having, one's parents, but that can be through harsh and critical parents who we lock ourselves away from. We can feel like an orphan in that case. It's also the orphan from a society that doesn't quite accept it. We're the orphan from the culture and the clans and the churches and the other beings who can't quite see us. We may feel abandoned, alone, unappreciated, and without a sense of hope and without a sense of connection and without a sense of rootedness in the joy of giving and receiving that the orphan so desperately needs to be connected into the love and the give and the receiving of everyday life needs to be what the orphan can do for themselves, because no one can re-establish a culture or a church or presence in those people who forget us. We can only do that for ourselves, and we can do that for others. And by doing that for others, remembering others, loving others, and connecting with others, do we let them feel like they are not orphans as well. And ultimately, we come into this world alone. We leave this world alone. Our energy leaves this one body alone, and we merge into the super consciousness of being where we're all together again, and we're no longer orphans, and we're part of the mystical, magical whole of being. So there's great remembrance here if we can pull ourselves up out of our pain and our isolation and our feelings of being forgotten and abandoned and alone. So what is your challenge this year? Well, it's the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is all about celebration. Ten of Cups is a joy of creation, of emotional security and emotional happiness. This is a wedding toast happening on this picture. Or a Christmas toast, or a festive gathering. So what is your challenge? Well, I think your challenge is to feel like celebration. Your challenge is to feel like you're connected to something deep and wonderful. Your challenge is to feel like you are in with people who are supporting you, connecting to you, and loving you. Maybe they are, but maybe you can't feel that. So there's all these questions for you this year of, are you feeling orphaned? Are you feeling abandoned? Are you feeling alone? The Ten of Cups is also about maybe something is ending that you need to admit that it's ending. Maybe some kind of relationship, maybe some kind of giving and receiving from something or someone or some organization or some person who no longer feels like they're there for you or that you're there for them anymore. And can you accept that? Can you allow that to change you to something else that works better for you? Can you stop and quit what you're doing with this particular group or this particular person so maybe you can find yourself again? Or maybe can you shift your own consciousness around being an orphan and do things for yourself that really connect you to yourself again, because that ultimately is all we can do, is connect to ourselves and then pick and choose who we can give our love to that might appreciate it, and thereby give and receive from others and feel connected to the world again, and the super sense of parents again, and the sense of self as a lovable and worthy and equal being on this planet who deserves love just as much as anyone else and deserves to feel connected just as much as anyone else. So what is your action to take this year? Well, just a squirrel. And squirrel is, a lot about I love the sense, squirrels, you know, go gather their food and hide it away for the winter. They take care of what they need as their resources. They're far sighted enough to know that they need to gather as much and put whatever they can into their nests for their comfort, for their survival, for their security. So I love the sense of the squirrel also represents the heart. And what are you putting into your heart? What are you storing in your heart for those cold winter days when you feel really alone and really outside of things? And that could be any time of the year. So what are you putting in your heart? Are you putting in loving things? Are you putting in connections in your heart? Are you putting in the friends that come over to bring you dinner? Are you putting in the joy that you get from singing with others in a group? Are you putting in the sense of going on walks and touching nature and talking to animals, and maybe your dog or your cat or your llama or your elephant, maybe you have some deep connection to some animal that just loves you unconditionally, and you have to put that into your heart, and you have to do those things that pull you out of your sense of isolation and abandonment and aloneness. And maybe that means breaking up with what you had already established, which you're still feeling alone and disconnected in. Maybe you need to change it, or maybe you need to change yourself, or both. Ultimately, it's about you changing you. You can't change other things, and you can't change other people unless they're willing to change. And maybe they are if you open up and tell them your pain and tell them your truth and show them your wounds and allow other people to see their own wounds and talk about their own wounds. And only in bringing up our own wounds with each other do we really work toward healing them. We won't get over them unless we look at them and bring them up and look at them with love and look at them with forgiveness and look at them with kindness. And those are the things you need to store in your heart. And that is the preciousness of love and the connection of the things and the beings and the creatures and the humans and the events that have a significant point of love and connection in them. So that is your action to take this year. Keep extending yourself out. Keep extending your heart out. Keep storing things in your heart that makes your heart move with another, that connects you deeply with another, an animal, a person, a job, a church, a clan, a world, whatever it is. How can you more deeply connect into your heart and store those things in the heart that bring you a sense of love and worthiness? This is really about worthiness. You're only the orphan as much as you allow yourself to feel shut off and isolated and abandoned. And if you do things to break that cycle, you can break some of the cycle of orphaned. But, we all have to work through this in our lifetime. We all have to connect deeply into the things and the souls and the beings who talk to us on deep heart levels. I love this card, synopsis card. I see a beautiful little dog hanging out by this woman's or man's face. I don't know what gender it is. And there's a memory here. Is the dog remembering the person? Is it the person remembering the dog? Is it, what is the deepest connection that touches you to someone loving you? And that is what we need to do. Remember that people do love us. And remember that we can love ourselves more by reaching out and loving those people who we can love. And even if we don't like them, we can reach out with love. We can reach out with kindness and caring. We can reach out with giving. We can reach out with nurturance. And by doing that, away from ourselves, outside from ourselves, do we lose some of that sense of being isolated and abandoned and forgotten. Ahom Mitakuye Oyasin. May it be a beautiful year. Blessings to you on your journey.